Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Captain Chang Plays Cold Waters. Today we start on a brand new series, Y2K War log of USS Montpelier. We're going to use Cold Waters Y2K campaign, basically NATO South China Sea 2000 versus the People's Liberation Army Navy. And we are going to start a new series, and this is going to be the record. As you can see, we're starting a new campaign, and we are going to choose a Los Angeles Flight 3. Basically, it's a slightly improved 688, and as you can see, we got USS Montpelier, or is it Montpelier? Someone let me know in the comments. Anyway, as the scenario proposes, Taiwan has declared independence from China, and People's Republic of China obviously gets very, very angry. Even Hong Kong has joined Taiwan in not going back to China, and let's just say things are getting a bit messy. By the way, that photo is obviously in the US, not in Taiwan. So, the economy in Asia has pretty much collapsed due to the tension. Russians are basically having a fire sale, selling everything they can to China, including submarines and Russian crew as advisors. And China has started sabotaging US bases in the area, including Okinawa, and so on. And looks like they are going to capture the resource-rich area in the South China Sea. And we have been ordered to go after enemy attack subs, a Wolfpack, roughly 50 miles southeast of Haiphong, Vietnam, where they are chasing after local fishing ships. As we scroll down, you can see that our crew is relatively green, rated 0 for everything, and as we play, you can see that we will gain experience. Right now, everybody is 0, and if you look, campaign points is at 400. 400 basically means we're right in the middle. If we lose, the campaign points will be 800, and if a campaign point reaches 0, we win. Or at least it will trigger the final mission. Patrol points are actually negative, and that is going to be how much damage we do on this particular patrol, which basically means from the time we leave port until the time we come back to port. We are going to change our loadout quite a bit, as we are still in Guam and we have a little time to change our loadout. So we're going to hit rearm and repair. We are going to unload the harpoons because I find no use for missiles, or at least anti-ship missiles. So we're going to unload all the harpoons. We're going to keep the 4 Tomahawk anti-ship missiles. As T-LAM missions, the Tomahawk land attack missile, we only need 8 at a time. We're going to load 6 Moss decoys, so that instead of 2, when we're going to add 4 torpedoes to make a total of 20. So now we have 26 plus 12 in the vertical launch tubes. Make it a total of 38 weapons. And we're going to swap out tube 1 right now for a decoy. And that's all that we need to do now. We know our orders. We need to get to Vietnam, basically Gulf of Tonkin. All right. Okay, let's hit pause. We're here at Guam. We need to get to Gulf of Tonkin. We cannot go through the Philippines, which basically means we have to go through the little gap between Taiwan and Philippines. So you have to go through the Philippine Sea. And you can turn the labels on and off, although personally they don't really do much. You can hit the briefing which basically means we can hit the review orders if we want. But we are going to continue on course and we're going to pause again. And I'll just show you the menu where we can hit summary. Let's save the game right now, just in case. Summary is just basically what you've accomplished so far. How many days, how many missions, how much have you sunk, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's pause again. Again, we're going into the Philippine Sea. We're going to avoid all of those patrol planes, satellites, and even surface and submarine contact, and we're going into Gulf of Tonkin. Okay, and we can move at 2 speeds. We can move at 20 knots, which is what we're doing right now, with the left click. Now this is the right click. As you can see, we slow down by half, but we're going to just go full speed, and we're going through the Philippine-Taiwan gap. And let's avoid those patrol planes and keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. We're going to avoid those subs. Keep going, keep going. We're going to Gulf of Tonkin. Oh, I think that's them. Let's go slow. Slow, slow, slow. And we have encounter. No surface stuff, no thermal layer. We are verifying our loadout. No change in our loadout. We're going 10 knots, but that's because we're going half speed. Okay, no layer, no surface stuck. So the first thing we need to do is check the ocean floor depth. Okay, now battle stations.
On sonar, lost contact. Last bearing. Rig ship for
okay, we're going for 5 knots. Silent running. Our first contact is bearing 69, which is to our right. So we're going to change course to 000. Now we deploy the total array. Floor is 130. Okay. What is Sarah 1? That is not a sub. That's either a merchie or a trawler.
Con, helm.
Told you, it's a merchant.
Con sonar, Sierra 1 is classified as merchant.
Okay. Let us continue north and let's see who else are we going to detect. What we can also do is we're going to periscope depth. Let's check the ESM. If there's anybody else on the surface. And we're indeed going to periscope depth. We're going to raise the ESM mast to check whether there's any surface radar. Civilians do not use radar in this game. Or at least we don't check for civilian radars. So anybody using radar is military. And if there's no ESN, then we'll raise our radar mast and just to see if there's any other merchants in the area. Then anybody else must be, therefore, in an underwater contact, which means hostiles.
Con sonar, new contact bearing 069, designated Sierra 2.
That's a sub. Let's just say I know the signatures well enough. Yep, that's a song.
Con sonar, Sierra 2 is classified as submerged submarine.
We don't know its heading yet, so we're going to continue head north. Okay. ESM mast up. No signal.
Lower the ESM mast.
Ready for radar?
Raise the radar mast.
And there is...
Lower the radar
You've
mast.
noticed that the S1 has been replaced with M1. That's because this is now a merged contact. It's been confirmed both by sonar and radar, so it's now pronounced Master 1. It's now going to be called Master 1, whereas S2 is an underwater contact, so it's going to stay Sarah because it was originally detected by sonar. So M1 is now Master 1. And we do not detect any other merchants in the area. There should be at least one more Chinese sub out there, but we'll figure it out when we get there.
6-1, dive by.
We're going down to 6-1 because let's just say I doubt there is going to be any air cover, but let's not take the chance. We are also turning away from the contact because we need to get the contact passive. We estimate his sonar performance at minus 13, 12, somewhere flickering in there. So he can only see us or hear us if he goes active. And we want this to be below negative 20. At negative 20, he will not even hear us launch a torpedo. If you have read my Reddit posts, basically the tip is if you launch a torpedo, you're going to get a temporary 20 dB spike in your sound signature. So if you can keep the sonar, estimated sonar performance at minus 20 or below, they're not going to hear your torpedo launch. And right now we're flickering between minus 12 to minus 15. So we're going to turn away from it and let's see if we can open the range a little bit. Right now we're holding him on both passive and towed array. Although passive, we're right on the danger of losing his signal. If it goes to 0, we're going to lose his signal. And right now we're at 11. On the towed array, so we're mainly holding him by the towed array. The merchant is just going to continue head east, so it's not a factor. I think it's time to accelerate time. If you were looking at the song contact carefully, you would notice he is moving north or west, but so are we. So we are not opening the range, which is why we are turning west. We need to open the range. And as you can see, solution has reached 60%, which means now we know it's heading, although we're not certain about its range. I think what we'll do is we're going to turn 180 and we're going to head southeast instead. If we're heading the opposite ways, we should open the range a lot faster. Yes, that means we're temporarily pointing the tail toward the enemy, but there's no way they'll hear us, and we are going to hold them in contact through the towed array. Going through the weapons of the song, nothing much to worry about. The YU-6 is the most dangerous torpedo, and they only have 2 of those. We mainly have to worry about the YU-3s, the U-3s, and it only has a 13-kilometer range. Whereas if you look at our Mark 48 Mod 6, we have a 50-kilometer range. And it transits at 50 knots and attacks at 65 knots. And it has a seeker range of 3.2 kilometers. That's right, 3.2 kilometers. So we have a massive sonar and torpedo advantage, and we're going to use every bit of it. Looks like Song is doing a little bit of a zigzag, but we have achieved 95% solution, and it is only 10 kilometers away. That is a bit too close. I consider 10 kilometer to be knife fighting range. And remember, our Mark 48s can go 50 kilometers. So I much prefer fighting at 20 or even 30 kilometers. Our sonar can definitely hear them from that far back. In fact, you might notice I have even retracted my towed array, which is now 0, because we can hold him only on passive. And we need to open the range.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 2, last bearing 0.
You might have noticed that
0,
we have lost the contact, but that just means it has dropped out of our passive sonar detection. As soon as we release our towed array, we're going to get it back. Of course, we know the actual range because we remember. But because we lost the contact, we have to establish the solution again. But we know the old range, so we're going to drop some markers. You might have noticed shift right click is the red marker and shift left click is the green marker. This is a DotMod feature. We are going to head east, making a slight left turn. We're trying to get behind the song. Once we get behind the song, we should be able to launch a torpedo into his baffles, so he will not even know there's a torpedo after it. We're changing course to go southwest because we don't want to. We don't need to be in his baffles to shoot a torpedo at it. Our torpedoes are wire guided, so we can launch a torpedo, change its direction, have it go into the baffles, and then approach it from behind. And we don't want to be behind our own torpedo. So we're going to go southwest in order to open range. And you might have noticed, it's now showing -50, -50, which means we are now in Song's baffles. And we have just launched a torpedo because now that we're in his baffles, he cannot hear this torpedo launch. The baffles are basically an arc directly behind the submarine, and you cannot hear anything within that arc because your own propeller or impeller is blocking all the noises. You simply cannot hear anything over there. We're going to make the torpedo go between 4 to 8 kilometers. And right now, we're going to leave a marker at 8 kilometers so we remember when to turn. We don't really need the other 2 markers anymore, so we may erase it after a moment. You can use markers to help yourself to do a lot of things. In fact, we are, instead of heading directly south west, let's just head west. We are going to eventually, once the torpedo reaches maybe 6 or 8 kilometer mark, maybe just before the green mark or at the green mark, then we're going to turn the torpedo toward the Song, and it's going to go up right up his baffles. His buddy is probably somewhere nearby, but we don't know where yet. This torpedo may smoke him out, and when we smoke him out, we'll send another torpedo his way.
Con sonar, new
Oh,
contact bearing.
oh.
Con sonar, launch transient from
Somebody just launched
03.
something. But they're launching at the torpedo, they're not launching at us.
03 is classified
And
as
you might notice the
submarine.
launch point is actually near the green marker rather than over here, rather than where the sonar think it is. We are not certain though. But that other guy is actively pinging. The launch point is actually just north of the green marker. But we are going to launch another torpedo. And we're going to chase down Sierra 3. Torpedo 3 will probably continue to chase down Sierra 2, depending on what we come up with. Of course, Sierra 3 can keep pinging, but we're nowhere near him. As you can see, we estimate his active sonar performance at -11. He cannot hear us. And we're still in Sierra 2's baffles. He cannot hear us, period. In fact, it looks like Sierra 3 has also turned and pointed its tail toward us. So we'll continue, let Sierra 3 attack, Torpedo 3 attack Sierra 2, and our Torpedo 4 will continue toward the 8-kilometer mark, and then turn and attack Sierra 3. You'll notice that we have detected 2 torpedoes from Sierra 3, but they are heading toward the torpedo, so it will pass harmlessly behind us by almost 10 kilometers. Nothing to worry about. We're going to adjust the trajectory a little bit. We're thinking, should we attack Sierra 3 with that, or attack Sierra 2? We're not sure what Sierra 3's range is, but if we extrapolate from those 2 torpedoes, it should be somewhere over there on the red marker, roughly speaking. It's technically a little closer. Well, let's see what we come up with. If my calculation is correct, Torpedo 3 should be activating any second, and Song would be directly ahead.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
And indeed, that is exactly what happened. Let's find the torpedo, shall we? Is it this one? Or is it... Nope, this is one of theirs. This is one of ours. Now, which one's which? I don't see the other contact. Well. Looks like Song has made a left turn.
3 is cavitating.
Oh, it's cavitating. It's trying to get away, but, ooh. It's really dipping to the floor. And, nope. You're still not getting away. It's coming back up.
Noisemaker bearing 3, 5, 3.
It's dropping a noisemaker. Which one is this? Is it this one or that one? Yeah, we're basically ignoring his noisemakers. It's a diesel sub. It's not very fast. Yeah.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 3, 5, 2.
Okay, for a second it did, the noisemaker did throw out the torpedo, but has reacquired. There you are. Oh, the Mark 48 is a very powerful torpedo. I am not guiding this in any way, by the way. I am not manually guiding this. Just watch. I swear I'm not manually guiding it. This is completely normal.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 351.
Propeller has stopped. It is dead. It's only 130 meters, so it's just going to sink to the ocean floor. It's not going to implode. Of course, the other song has now turned left, and it's turning right because it has no idea what's going on. And we have lost the solution a bit, 60%, but we know where it was.
Lost contact. Sierra,
Oh, it has lost
bearing
contact, huh?
338. Contact.
Yeah, it's probably trying to slow down, trying to see if it can throw us off, but we'll just put the torpedo over there. We're going to mark it with a red dot, and we'll see what happens in a minute or two. You can see that this one is trying to ping, but it has no idea why it's pinging. This one's on the ocean floor, dead. And the other one, you might notice I put a bunch of red markers there. Those are roughly along the same bearing from myself. And that means the other sub is somewhere along that. So we're just putting the activation point right in the middle. And we're going to let it run because this song has no idea what just happened. It just knows that it needs to run. It doesn't, it's not sure there's a torpedo behind it, but it's not taking any chances. But it did not even have a chance to shoot back. The other two torpedo has ran out of power and disappeared, and you might notice that under my active sonar, which is next to my decoy count of 20, active sonar light is now showing green, which means we could disengage. But we're... Okay, I am mistaken. He did fire, but he fired at the torpedo, which means that torpedo is coming nowhere near us. Doglegging is a very powerful tactic. Alright, looks like 4 is about to activate. And let's see if we can find that enemy just like that. Let's see how good my prediction is. Activating right about now. Nope, not there yet. But keep waiting. In fact, I turn on the active sonar just to see if we can spook it. But I'm pretty sure it's directly ahead.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
There it is. We turn off the active, put on the passive seeker, and it's now seeking. Well, it's trying to go deep, but there's only 130 meters of water. It's basically doing what the other one did. It's not going to hit the bottom. It's coming back up. And the torpedo is going to follow.
Bearing 338.
Yeah, you're not going to get away either. I think I see a shadow ahead. There you are. Again, I'm not guiding this in any way. No manual guidance. The Mark 48 Mod 6 is just that good. It's simply ignoring all the decoys, all the noisemakers she's dropping. I am only moving the camera. I'm not moving the torpedo at all.
Con sonar, noisemaker, bearing 337.
Yeah, boom. And as you can see, propeller has stopped. She's dead. Almost exactly the same way as the other one. In fact, let's watch it drop all the way to the ocean floor, only 130 meters away. And yes, there's a little bit of oil slick on the surface. And there she goes. Bonk. Oof. That's it for both enemy subs. I'm pretty sure there is no third submarines anywhere near here. And I believe that we are clear. We're going to reload that torpedo and then we'll disengage. Towed array has been retrieved, torpedo loaded. Let's leave combat. Both songs have been sunk. 1 torpedo each. Experience gain 18,000. And Consub Pack is very pleased. News briefing. Any convoys, civilian or military, will be safer. And our next mission, we need to go to Taipei, Taiwan, which is in the northern Taiwan, and intercept an amphibious landing group. I'm not sure we'll make it, but we'll do what we can. You'll notice that we started at 0 and we have moved up to 1. And you'll notice our campaign points start at 400, it's now 354. And our patrol point is exactly minus whatever. Patrol point is basically the points that we scored on this particular patrol from the time we leave port to the time we enter port again. We don't plan to touch any neutral tonnage. You'll notice. Okay, is there anything else to say? Nah. As we gain more experience, our crew will improve. And unless I seriously doubt you'll get 10 of 10 crew unless you have a very, very, very long campaign. Anyway, this will be it for this episode, folks. The Taipei action will have to wait until the next episode. Alright, folks, looks like we will continue on course and we'll hit space and pause the game right here. We're going to hit menu and we're going to save the game right here. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. We're going to continue this campaign in the next episode. We need to head up to Taipei. And Ningbo, as you can see, is very close. And I'm not sure we're going to have time to get all the way to Taipei. And if the Amphib group has already left Ningbo, where there's no way we're going up the Taiwan Strait. It's just way too shallow. I would not go there with the Seawolf, much less a Flight 3688. Again, please like and subscribe if you want to see the next episode. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching Captain Chang Production.